Legends, my brother is here.
Let's do this.
We're rolling. It is cold.
It is.
Let me turn on this computer here. Turn on the head unit.
Make sure you got everything.
Yeah, and let's turn on this power meter. I'm gonna put the power meter on for you guys. Hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, it is what it is, because I don't really care about it. Yeah, it's cold. It might be 1.5 or 2 Celsius, if that. I left the head unit outside so it would pick up the correct temperature once I sink. So by now you all should be able to see the temperature. It is cold. There's frost on our grass. You can see frost on this vehicle here. I hope the camera can pick it up on the hood from the dew. Look at the grass over here. Hopefully it will pick it up. But this grass here in my neighbor's yard has frost on it. It's that cold. And so we're dressed appropriately. See my brother? He's got the big gloves out today.
Yeah, we got the big one going.
I've got the Prologue gloves that finally came in. I'm testing them. And you see the little pouch, the little mound here? That's an extra cover that they ship with it that you can cover your hands if it gets even colder or if it starts to rain. So that little pouch out there, you can cover your hands. So if you're interested in Prologue gloves, just go online, look it up. I'm not reviewing it. I'm just letting you guys know I'm wearing it. That's it. So my brother covered his face. And that's not because of COVID. He's cold.
Yep.
I've got my gaiter on. And I'm going to pull it up a little bit in a little bit. Let's see here. So right here, I just wanted to show them. I've got this neck gaiter, it's the lighter one, that can come up. So before I put the helmet on, I already had it lined up where I can do what you just saw me do. And so I can go all the way up if I want to, but I'm just gonna keep it down here for now. The birds are happy, so they know something. I've got 3 layers on today. I've got a regular base layer sleeveless, I got a thermal base layer, and then thermal jersey, because it's not gonna warm up much. And so I'm nice and comfortable. On this ride, Paul and I left Northampton. It was very cold. It was like 0 Celsius, which is 32 Fahrenheit. It actually got lower as we went out. We went through Sterling Ridge there. We decided to just do our own thing. We took 1488, went out west. We'd already made some clips before we got out there. And then we went up 149. Once we got over at Springbridge Road there, Springbridge Road, we turned on the camera, we filmed, and then we went out towards the forest. We didn't go through the forest. We came back down 1097. When you see Dacus there, that hits 1097. We came south. It was many hours later. It was a clear sunny day, but it was very cold, didn't warm up much. We got clips once we got past Keenan and the Great Grand Lake Estates on our favorite road. When we're in Spring Branch, we did some instructional stuff, so I think you will really enjoy it. We had fun with the ride. We actually saw more of them when we were on the way back on Spring Branch Road, so we hope you enjoy the clips that we got for you. I don't know if this camera is going to do justice, Legends, because I'm picking up the yard and I want to get the roofs. We have frost on the grass, and tomorrow night Paul just told me that it's supposed to snow. That doesn't happen very much in our area very often, maybe every 4 or 5 years or something like that. But we have frost on the grass and on the roofs. That's what you're looking at. I don't know if the camera will really show it very well. Yeah. That's what you see. That's frost. All that white looking stuff. The grass is brown. We're probably right at 30. Brown and green. Let's see. What's my temperature? It's -1 Celsius. It was 28.9. 29. We're at 29.8 Fahrenheit right now. We are below freezing right now. As a result, we've got our faces covered to keep the wind off our faces. There wasn't a whole lot of wind. Keep it right below my lower lip.
We're not as delicate as some people.
Don't even start that fully. I hope it's gonna get that grass over there to show the frost. Look at the roof up there. Hopefully
Yeah, there's
it'll get
frost
that.
on the roofs.
This house, trying to get the roof. I don't know if it'll get it or not, but we have frost on the grass. It is cold. We are below freezing this morning. And so, yeah, this is the coldest day we've had all season. And I just wanted to film that as we roll out. So why don't you film until we get to the creek side.
The roads were clear. There was no ice on the road or anything. But look at the grass. That's frost on it. You know, the dew forms and then it frosts over.
So we're just chilling. We're just getting out to be out. I'm going to cover my finger with the cloth because
I'm pulling the outer cover of these gloves that I'm testing
Yeah, this is
out because they have like an outer crab's claw or lobster claw sleeve that goes over that, even blocks more wind. Look at the frost up there on the roof and the grass. So I'm putting the extra cover out because it's very cold. My biggest challenge right there was the sleeve of my jersey kept sliding out from under the cuffs, and so I'm pulling out the little sleeve that you slip in there. With this glove, it comes with an extra sleeve that you can cover up, which keeps water from going through the gloves, and it blocks the wind. There was not much wind, but I wanted to just see whether this set of gloves would hold up with such cold temperatures, and they performed great. I love the dexterity that you maintain.
that's the extra
That's
shield
what's
there.
hanging. That's the little sleeve.
Slip it over my hand. That's just block.
look at the steam on the
Look
water.
at, that's the steam down there that Paul's talking about on the lake over there. Everything you see on the grass is frost. So I slipped the lobster claw over my fingers, and it creates a shield. Then I recognized that my jersey was sliding out from under the cuffs.
Yeah. Got a crab's claw there.
So it adds more
You feel the
protection.
difference immediately. Because this is like a plastic.
You see the
vacuum
frost on the
thing.
right on the grass? That's what you see there. It was colder than I expected.
It's amazing.
We had been told that the low would be
So same thing here, I'm
34.
gonna make a fist.
Well, it went lower than that.
Make sure I'm
But
going
we were
fast
dressed
enough for
appropriately.
this.
I could tell when I got up in the morning it was very cold, and I always go outside. I find an
Try not
excuse
to
to
stretch
walk
it too
outside in
much.
the courtyard and check the
That's
weather.
why you see me there. Because you don't want to stretch it too much.
You see the
Put two
benefits of
fingers on
hands-free
one side.
riding. This
Yeah,
whole
two
time,
fingers on the other
I'm
side,
riding
and your thumb goes in
hands-free,
here.
adjusting my
And that
gloves.
shield really
Don't have to
blocks the
stop.
wind.
It's nice to
Wow,
be
it
able to
got
do that.
cold in a hurry. I got a little bit of gap.
Yeah.
I'm riding sew-ups. That's why I have my
Yeah.
spare
That's
sew-up
probably
under
why
the
it got so
saddle there.
So you don't need a lot of heavy stuff. You just need the right pieces.
Yeah, you don't need bulky stuff to stay
That's
warm.
right.
You need technical fabrics. So I don't like to wear jackets. I much rather wear a jersey per se that has pockets. They do have jackets, the top guys, that have pockets. Because once you put on a jacket, you can't access your pockets easily. I don't like that. The jacket Paul is wearing, that's a Pro Team jacket, you can access your pockets. So if I'm going to wear a jacket, that's the kind I'll wear. But I'm wearing my thermal jersey with 2 layers, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
I need to get that. I need to close that.
So what I'm telling him is my sleeve keeps coming out when I get on the hoods. The jersey's kind of riding up a little bit, but I think it was because the base layer was moving under it. But that jersey is a lot warmer than it looks. I love that it's warm, but it's light. So the material is really special. So with 3 layers, regular base layer, sleeveless, thermal base layer, long sleeve, and then a thermal jersey, I can go below freezing. But that's me. You may need more or you may need less. Everybody's different. There is no specific formula. You got to find what you need.
All right, legends. This is almost 2.5 hours into the ride. Just turned on the camera on 149, headed north. It's barely 4 Celsius. It's cold. a little bit, but with the wind chill, it's colder out here. We're approaching Spring Branch Road.
Yeah, 4 Celsius is pretty cold.
Trying to line up. Car back? Is it clear? Clear back. It's all clear back. Clear here. This is Spring Branch Road. Turning off the highway.
It's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Nice and warm right now from the sun, but it's still cold.
But it feels colder than 40.
Got it.
It's just the sun beating on the head unit is making it say 4
I heard it
Celsius.
beeping when you were pulling it out.
Yeah, it came on. That's okay. I just left it alone.
Okay.
It was getting snagged on my jersey,
Yeah.
and so I put my hand under it.
This
and I
road is
pressed the
very
button.
quiet,
The good thing
as
is,
you can see.
the button works.
But with this
I'm ready to
cold
give us
morning,
hell.
Yeah.
it was even quieter than normal.
I don't mind it. I just,
A lot of the
I pulled it out.
animals were kept in the barns. We didn't see as many cows as we usually do. You'll hear us talking about it in a little bit.
It was catching me on that side. And I couldn't get there, so I put my hand under it,
You're right.
push it out to pull it out, and it touched the button.
So with the gloves that we're wearing, that's what I'm telling Paul, it's
Look at
harder
this
to
road,
get
man.
stuff out of the pockets if you have
Legends
gloves
are-
that are too bulky.
Time for a snack. It's cold. I'm hungry. I'm gonna throw something in the tank. Throw a log on the fire. We are not paying attention to speed or anything. We're just riding. Most of the ride, we've been chatting and just catching up.
Yep.
That's what it's about when you get back into the swing of things. Just being out here. If I see any cows, I'm gonna harass them. Dogs, you know. But the dogs and the animals are smart. It's cold. They're not out.
Yep.
Usually, there's cows out here.
Right.
And so with the frost, I think they
Look,
moved them
all the
inside.
fields are
All the fields are
all
empty.
empty.
There's usually animals out here. So that's how cold. We didn't expect it to be this cold. Right now it's right at 4 Celsius.
Yep.
It was actually below 0 earlier. So I had this over my face. My brother had his over his face.
Yep.
So you saw that. So
I convert
The
the
only
temperature
thing
on the
out is the
fly
birds.
because
Yeah,
on my
birds are
head
out here.
unit
We don't see-
is
I
in
don't see any
Fahrenheit,
animals, anything.
but I can convert it. So when I'm talking, I don't know it's full Celsius. I know it's 40
when it's
Fahrenheit.
windy, that's what you want to do. Use your teeth,
Yep.
bite it off. Car back. I hear a car
Okay.
back.
Yeah, I get it behind you.
So I break them up into little blocks. You can't eat the whole thing at once. So I break them up in the package. You will see me talk about it in a little bit.
The beautiful thing about this day is less cars, and we
there's
have
not
an
much
open
wind.
road.
Yeah, there's not much wind today.
No.
It's not very windy.
Just a little,
It's just
look at that
cold.
flag. Film that
So
flag.
if you wore a
See how many
windbreaker, you
flags
would be
everybody's
cold.
over there?
Yep.
There's not much
There's a
wind.
flag
No
on the
wind.
left. I'm putting an arrow on it. It's limp.
Just beautiful.
On the way back, the wind picked up as the day
Yeah.
got warmer. But right now, it's not
Smoke up
much. So
there.
that was
We're
good.
just enjoying being out here.
It was cold enough without the
I
wind.
want to film that little 9.4% climb.
Yep.
So we get to the climb, we start to explain and do some drills. I think you all will enjoy that. And then we look at some of the questions people would ask. Oh, your knees
Taking
bent
little
on the
bite
bottom of the
sizes out
stroke.
bar.
So we talked a little bit about fit and how things are supposed to be.
These gloves work, man.
So this
Yeah.
section was interesting. Yeah, those gloves passed the test. I will definitely let the manufacturer know.
We have to put the link on this video because I know they're going to be at.
I was telling Paul that I may have to put the link for the gloves if I get a lot of questions about it. But
What about
they're hard to find. That's the only thing.
Ready for it.
We're about 1.5 kilometers away from that climb. You see how beautiful it is out here. It's always like this on this road.
I break the bar up in the package. So I have 3 bite sizes. This is my 3rd bite size.
You want to use bite sizes, especially if you're riding with a group, so that you can get through munching quickly if you need to work. You don't want to take too long to eat. Even when you make your own little sandwiches, make them small. And we spotted
Yeah.
some cows out.
It's the first animal we see.
They're hanging around, they're eating, they're around, and you'll see the guy had just come from feeding them, and he's going back because he
Yeah.
doesn't live out here. This is the pasture. You will see him. There he is. There's the farmer out there on his
I guess he
vehicle.
came to feed them.
So he came and he fed them, and we just saw him pull out of there. He's going back. There's a dog on the left that likes to bug us. He's a brown dog. We see him all the time.
Yep. Yeah, man, you good?
So I would say hi, he stopped barking.
I remember he's always out there.
And we spoke to the farmer
That's
as we went
brown.
by.
Yeah, he looks healthy.
Yep.
Everybody's staying in today, man.
Yep.
It's cold.
Usually you come through here, you'll see people
Best time to
outside
ride.
in front of their
Yeah,
porches
roads
and
are
stuff,
empty.
but nobody was out
Look at
today.
this. Roads are clear, guys.
Yep.
There was one dog sunning
Look at
himself
that
right
dog
there.
right there. It's not moving.
He's not moving. He's standing in the
He's
sun.
staying in the sun.
Oh,
He's
man.
trying to get there, trying to get warm.
Just like the snakes do.
It's
That's our
funny.
hill.
Yep. It's coming.
Right between those trees, it gets there in a hurry, it kicks up.
Look at that thing.
Yep.
See that little, what a shadow is? See how quickly it is?
Yep.
You can't take in what I'm explaining to Paul, because we
Like
could
you hit a
see.
wall.
You see the road where it looks almost like
That's
it
why
hits
we come
the
here
side
to
of a
enjoy.
building. It spikes up real quickly.
Look at it. It's flat and boom. And
Yep.
it curves.
It's like a stair step, and you get there in a hurry.
So we're just gonna ride it and not kill it.
Yep.
We're just going to find a rhythm and get a feel for the climb. You're going to be working harder than Zone 1, definitely, because of the grade. But we're not going to be killing our legs. We're going to be in a very small gear and get some kind of a rhythm. And we've got several climbs that follow that climb, and we'll kind of walk you through it. So the path and the route that you take matters, depending on how hard you want to work. On an easy ride, you want to avoid a lot of climbs, because it's hard to rest on climbs.
You can see where it's hit.
Yep. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen.
So Paul is on my left. I stayed to the right because I really want to get the steepest gradient. And the steepest gradient is always on the inside.
This is just gonna ride it. I'm gonna keep downshifting and just keep my rhythm. So right here, the grade starts to kick in.
Yep.
I put the arrows up so you can follow it. You will see the watts go up. You will see great.
I was on the wrong chain
I was on the big chain ring.
So
That's what
right
Paul's
here,
laughing.
It went from point
So I
1 to
downshifted.
4 in a heartbeat.
Yep.
5, 6, staying on the steeper side.
So
Yep,
the effort,
because we want to work.
the effort is a little higher than Zone 2
Then
here.
it bites.
That's
Yep.
why you don't want to kill yourself.
8 point something.
It gets to like 9.5 before it lessens.
9.1.
I got 9.1. It didn't quite seem to register up there on the, over there. I'm
Here,
staying to the
level up
right
a
so I
little
can
bit.
get more of the gradient, the steepness. The steepest on the inside. It's lessening.
That got me right to the bottom of sweet spot.
So it got me up to like sweet spot. And the terrain will decrease so you get a chance to rest, especially when you're in the group.
The hill to improve. Ride it.
Yep.
So you can do repeats on climbs like those, or you just ride the rollers like that's available here. We've got another one coming up. It's flat here right now.
So when you're out of shape and they come like this, you start worrying. So you really have to, if you haven't
They come
recovered,
thick and fast.
and you got another one, you can only do so many of these.
So this is a slight grade. This is not. This is just 3%. So after you've done a 9%er, the 3% feels like it's flat.
I don't know why they put these things in the corner.
They've got little reflectors in the corner. I'm going to stay on the right for a bit. It's a bit much. I mean, if you're the road's fine. Yeah, it's just a bit extra overkill. They're trying to keep drivers on the road who don't pay attention. That's really what that comes out. I was telling Paul where I grew up, if the road's curving and you don't figure it out, you'll find out. You know, nobody wastes time putting all those things on the edges of the road.
You want to work on cons, you pick a rod like this. That's the second one, that's another one.
Yep.
That will force you to learn how to recover. That's why you have to build a good base. That's why I'm able to talk while we do this. Man, you eating that stuff like it tastes good.
I'm messing with that cow. There's a cow in there with his head in the bucket. You can't see him very well. He's a brown cow on the right there. He's got his head in the bucket.
What's in there, man? What you eating?
He took his head out and looked at me.
It's a big head against
That's some good stuff.
Man, he was eating that stuff. It looked so tasty. He was making me hungry just watching it. I'm like, that must taste really good. He had his whole head in the bucket. Look at this dog. He's lumbering. He used to be in shape. Look at him.
He got a little finger on the middle. Soft life. You living a soft life.
I told her, I said, you be living a soft life. You got to drop your Christmas weight.
Christmas weight or something. Work it out.
He's lumbering. He's not as fast as he used to be. So he needs to get back into the swing of things. He needs to go on an endurance run.
Yep.
Oh, man. That's funny. I messed with a bunch of animals on this ride. We saw a cow actually taking a stroll. It's not often that you see a cow going for a stroll. We saw one. He's off camera though. I wish we had filmed him because they're usually sitting or standing. You don't see them strolling very often. That's funny.
This is the way you try to recover. It's flat. The cadence the same. You ride with others, you sit in tight. Save your energy. Because there's another one.
Yep.
So when you get a lot of rollers, you can really get a good workout. You know, you can push even in between the rollers if you want
This ride
to.
will be even more interesting on film than last week.
Yeah.
Last week was boring. Yeah. Those guys wasted our time.
I was telling Paul that I thought that this ride was very interesting because we did different things on this ride, and it was kind of nice. And it ended up, it started so cold that by now at 5 Celsius it felt balmy. And that's the thing about the body. The body adjusts.
Look at that road.
Yep.
B-E-A.
We start going downhill, I shift up. I soft pedal a bit, kind of get into it. You can see the road in the distance going up and into the right. Right here, the hill kicks in. You see it goes 1%. I go ahead and stand just to do something different.
Keep a steady tempo.
I shift up. And as I shift up, I lessen the load on the gears.
It's a slightly larger gear.
You don't want to be in a light gear flailing around. And you don't want to be laboring in a gear that's too heavy. You got to find the right gear that you can handle for that grade so you walk the bike. It gives your muscles a break. It works them in a different manner. I'm messing with those dogs. They're waiting for us.
Yep.
I think we see a cyclist coming the other way, and I told Paul, I said, there's one of the hard men coming the other way. He's up in the distance on the left. He's heading back, so he must have gotten out early.
Look at that.
Yep.
And yet another climb. And all the climbs in this area here, they're between 3, like you saw the 9.5%, between 3 to 5% is common out on this road. You can get a good workout. I greet this dog over here. I don't know if it's a boy or girl.
What's up, young lady or man?
So the dog looked at her, I was like, what are you guys doing out here?
You ain't got no fur. Why are you out here?
Yeah.
This is nice. It's a gradual climb.
So the climbs here are long enough to give you whatever challenge you need, whatever you want when you come out here. You can work them.
Yeah, got it.
I told Paul to come on my right to kind of show my gearing. I'm in a small chain ring and in the middle and the back. 39.17, something like that.
Still here, we're still on the bridge.
You want to get in shape in a hurry?
Fly, but it's not.
This is the kind of workout you can do. And standing out of the saddle for this length of time or longer, you will feel the burn. So you've got to build yourself up to be able to tolerate it. Your heart rate goes up. You can see I'm already at sweet spot because you're using more muscles.
He's all excited.
The dog's on the left. I don't put an arrow. They're spinning around in the yard. There's a small yard. But they're so excited that we're coming. Look at them.
Really?
That's what I said, really? They're just freaking out, you know. Bicycles are coming to get all excited.
All right, come on, brother.
Some of them race us in their yards.
I got it. Yeah.
So you can see just in that little stretch, my heart rate dropped about 20 beats. That's why you have to do the work. You got to have structure to your training so you can build the right engine to enhance your recovery.
Paul's ready for the Arctic Circle. Look at those gloves.
Paul's wearing the Rafa deep winter gloves.
So he's standing in a slightly harder gear, and he sits and he downshifts a little bit. Just to keep the rhythm, keep the body moving. I want you to hold your leg go ahead, don't pedal. Hold your leg like that. Yeah. Okay, I want to show you guys, everybody be talking about Paul's legs are still bent. Look at Paul's leg. That's the way you're supposed to look on your bike. When you're actively pedaling, go ahead and pedal. When you're actively pedaling, your knee does not show the extension. But go ahead and stop. When you stop, that's the full extension there. Yep. So, stop wondering about how things look and pay more concern to how they feel. Okay, I just did that exercise for all these questions we get. Anybody ask that question again, I will send them to this video. Because if you feel like you're reaching and you can't get to the bottom of the pedal, saddle's too hard. Doesn't matter how it looks. It can look cool and you got saddle sores galore. You know? So, if you look at Paul's back, there is absolutely no movement. It's just his legs because the saddle height is correct. So there's no chafing or any crap that's gonna go on. That's what you get from a proper fit. That's a Veloharmony fit. We dial people into the millimeter.
No question.
That's it. I want to glance at somebody riding and figure, oh, all of a sudden, something's wrong with the fit, doesn't look right. Based on what?
Based on the look.
Everybody looks different on the bike. You cannot try to mirror yours based on someone else. We're all built differently. We bend differently. We have different flexibility. So you can't do yours by trying to look like somebody else.
Just bought them. We still haven't taken our tree down. Someone let's leave it up. It's so pretty.
Some people have flat backs when they get very low. Some people don't. They got a hump in the back. Everybody's different.
When I put my
Don't
leg
worry
down,
about it.
fully extended, that's how I look.
I have a bend in my knee.
When I'm pedaling, downshift.
And when I'm pedaling, my knees look like they're still bent. They're supposed to be bent.
Does not work like that.
Your knees should never be locked on the bicycle when you're clipped into the pedal. If you have your heel on the pedal, yeah, maybe so. But when you're clipped in, it should not be locked.
Once we turn it off, something I'm going to tell you. Just note that sign.
Okay.
You don't need to film it.
Okay.
I just want you to note it. They remove pins as
The thing is that once your bike is fitted correctly,
today
you start to feel like, wow,
pins anymore.
the bike is not there. It's like you're pedaling in space, so to speak, and everything just kind of comes along. Like the saddle meets you at a point in space, and the pedals meet your feet at a point in space.
Man. Look at the horns on this one.
Yeah, it's hard to get those guys in the distance. Those are Texas Longhorn cattle, you know. So it's good to see them out because it's such a cold day. They don't keep these guys out when it's very cold.
Yeah.
You need to pass that hole, man.
Yeah.
In a little while, you'll see me move over often to let some cars by. And I think I'm moving over because there's a car by. You may see me wave the car over because we have more visibility. Right here, I'm waving him over because we have more visibility. He could not see over this hump in the hill. And that's okay to do that because I wanted him to just go ahead and go. So we can have the road, you know. And I'll probably do it again, but that's what you want to do. You share the road. We're asking this guy if he's okay. He's just standing there working on his iPad or something. Kind of a cold morning to be messing with an iPad. He had his bike with him. I thought maybe he had a mechanic.
Oh, we like this road.
So I'm out there, you know, I've got the mirror so I know nothing's back there.
Like
you get to use the road.
No matter when you come.
Yep.
Car back.
So I move over and I wave him out because he can't see. His line of sight is obscured in rolling terrain. I look in the mirror again. It's clear.
Where's the bike? Yeah.
So we see lights because some of the riders coming. There are riders on the opposite side of the road. And there's a car behind us coming. So as we greet them, the car goes by in the middle. That's the WCC boys. It's a small group. There's like 5 of them. There's 5 of them right there. This person's off the pace, but still hanging in. So there's like 6 riders in the whole group.
WCC boys.
Yep.
They like this road too.
Yep.
That's Mo was in the back there. They were heading back.
Maybe a little serious there.
Yeah. He's putting it down.
How to ride slow.
Yeah.
So there's a dog in the yard. See this driveway here with the mailbox on the right? That's a private yard. There's a dog in there. He starts to race us inside the yard. You can't see him. Very muscular dog.
Look at that guy.
And I told Paul, look at that guy.
Yep. He's muscular.
Dogs love chasing bikes. A lot of the dogs out here must be farm dogs, what we call herding dogs, because a lot of them stay in their property and they race you. So I think they're just been raised on a farm and they help herd the cattle.
Yeah.
Go right or left? Let's go left.
Left, yeah.
This is the end of Spring Branch Road. We're in the Tri-Lakes area.
Last time we were here, we went right.
That's the Spring Branch Road sign, and then we're gonna go left on this old Plantersville Road here. That's what this is called. There's a town west of here called Plantersville.
Okay, you can kill it. Take a break. Well, legends, 5 hours plus into the ride. It's warmed up a bit, but not much. So we're going to enjoy this fair weather. We didn't have to shed anything. It just stayed cold.
Yeah, I just pulled my neck gaiter down. You know, even though it says 11 Celsius, it feels colder. We're going into the wind now. The wind's blowing from the south, which is what caused it to warm up quickly. We're on 2854 headed south. It's almost 12:30 in the afternoon. It turned out to just be a fabulous day to get back into the swing of things. So about every 2 hours, we stop for a health break, usually. Because when you're riding, you don't feel like you need to go, and when you stop, then you do. So we try to make sure that we, you know, every couple of hours, we are at a place where we can stop. We don't like to use the public restrooms, especially with COVID-19 out there. So we go, we find private areas where we can go. And that's why I just asked Paul, I said, you think this is a good time for a stop? Because after that, we'll be getting back in the city. And we don't want to use any restrooms. Once we found out that, you know, COVID was out there and, you know, you have to be careful with surfaces and all of that, we incorporated that into it. You know, making sure that we were not using those public restrooms anymore.
Yeah.
We're talking about the porta potties and stuff. I'm like, you know, I've never liked using those things.
I see them going in there, man.
And there's a guy who rides with us, Mr. Mike Weingrad. Yeah, he likes to, he's the one that actually finds these little roads that are private. He prefers that whenever possible. Because I rode with him one time to Richards, and he was finding roads that I used to ignore. He said, oh, that's a good bathroom break stop, you know. Because a lot of them are dead ends, or they go to like a little farm or a barn. There's no traffic or anything. It's better, it's quick. You make a quick stop, you're back on your ride. You don't have to worry about touching any surfaces or anything that's used by the public. So we're very, very particular about that. You have to be until they get this stuff sorted. And even after that, I think it's just a good idea to just be cautious. Make sure you always wash your hands, because sometimes you'll touch something and forget. So, you know, when I put on my gloves for cycling, I don't want to touch any foreign surfaces. The wind is blowing from the south, mostly from the east to our left. That's where we felt it. So this is where we took our health break. It's one of our little secret stops. Very quiet, dead-end road. I put the camera down here just to see what it would look like on the time lapse, because I wasn't sure what it would capture. But you can see the hill in the distance. We go up that hill when we're done, and we go up the PKWY road. So this area that we come into, most of the climbs are between 3, like that one was 9%. They're not that common, but 3 to like 5% or so. So you can get a good enough workout out here. In the forest, there's a 7% climb in there too. So there is no reason to not learn to ride hills in this area. We've got enough. So it's not uncommon for us to climb, say, 1,000 meters on a ride. It's like 3,000 feet, something like that, 3,200 feet. So that's Raven Chapel Road on the left that we usually climb from the other way when we're coming with those guys. But we never come all the way straight on. We always take a different roundabout way. It has a good climb going south. This is the climb that you saw in the distance when I did the time lapse. Look at that sun. The sun is not as intense this time of year in this part of the world because the earth has tilted away from it. So the effort here is basically zone 2, just riding the climb. Signaling not just for Paul, but also for those drivers that you see turning, so they can know that we're turning and then they can get out into traffic. So you're not just signaling just for you or your teammates or your group mates or whatever. You're signaling for everybody using the road. So it's a good idea to always signal so the drivers can know what you're doing.
Yep.
This little climb here gets there in a hurry. It's like it's very deceiving. You see it says 6% already. It gets to like 7 point something. I go to the right to get the steepest grade I wanted to see.
7.5.
Right there, I
Yep.
told him it's 7.5 once I got to the right.
7. One of that boy here.
It comes quickly.
Yeah. Gets in a hurry.
So when you're trying to get back after a layoff, try not to overexert yourself the first few rides. Ease into it so you don't set yourself back by making yourself too tired. So I take a drink from my bottle. It's an electrolyte mix. It's 12 Celsius now, so it's nice and balmy. I already had removed the cover that I pulled out on those gloves, so I'm back to just the standard use with the fingers exposed. And so it was nice using them because they have good flexibility to handle different temperature ranges, and almost like handling rain will not be a problem for them as well. I like the way they feel. I like the CPC technology. It gives you a lot of extra grip. It's like having little bitty tentacles on the gloves. This is Keenan Cutoff. We turn right. We're entering Great Lake Estates. We don't film the estates. We go ahead and just morph to Honea Eqypt Road when we're leaving the estates.
Go ahead and turn.
So at this point, we're exiting Great Lake Estates. We're on Honea Eqypt Road.
Let's go. Let's
This is it.
wrap this ride up.
Grand Lake Estates.
Let's do this.
And we're on Honea Eqypt Road right here, heading south, wrapping up this ride. It's one of our favorite roads in the area. It's not the smoothest road, but it has patina. Just gradually raising the pace. I stayed on the small chainring the entire ride. The ratios were close to what you can replicate on a large chainring because I've got an 11 on that wheel. It's an 1125. So on this road, I was probably riding a 39-14 at this point, something like that, or even a 13. Which is like a 80 to 81 inch gear, just slightly smaller than a 5317. Wind's blowing from the left, and I'm just keeping the tempo steady. I think this is one of the areas where they scrape the road. When we get in that curve, I'm going to stay on the edge of the road where it's nice and smooth. Right there. I'm going to ride that edge and try to dodge those reflectors. It's a lot smoother than riding that graded surface. As we go through there, I'm keeping my eye on the traffic behind because I've got my food mirror on the far end. So I'm aware of where the other road users are. It wasn't that busy that much. We got a few passes here, a few groups, pockets of traffic, but other than that, it was pretty light. For this time of day anyway. It's like 1:14 in the afternoon. The sun felt really good. You can see the temperature went down versus earlier. It had gotten to 12, now it's 11. It was like 53 degrees Fahrenheit on this road. Since we knew we had that last long climb at the end, we're keeping it very reasonable here because we didn't plan on working very hard today. Because of the wind, I'm already edging up into zone 3. But my emphasis is to keep it in zone 2. I just told him, I said it's colder than it was earlier. I mean, you know, just cooler, let's put it that way. It was as high as 55 Fahrenheit, which is like 13 Celsius. I run the credits here before we hit the last climb. Thanking all our sponsors, our supporters, our channel members, and our patrons. We want to welcome our newest channel member, Karen Lewis. She is a lion cub on our YouTube channel membership. Welcome, Karen. We appreciate your support. Every time we come through here, in this area here, you don't want to kill yourself because right after this curve, you've got that long climb. It's about a couple of kilometers, let's say. It's steep and then it levels off, but it's still a grade. So you got to save your legs. Wind's picking up a little bit. The grade is kind of like what you call a false flat. I can feel it here. You can see the speed has gone down a bit. My cadence is down, but I like the rhythm because my plan was to get to that hill in the distance and stand for a good chunk of it. Because I knew it would be harder on my body if I stood. It's not the most efficient way to climb, but sometimes it works best depending on how you feel at that moment. Paul's messing with the camera. I think he may have put it on a small chain, put his gear in on a small chain ring. Because I have not changed my pace. He just slowed down to do something. So he rides back up to me. Once we pass the guardrail here, you feel the grade kick in. I really like this road. Even when I ride solo, if I come out here, I like coming back this way. It's a nice way to close out the ride. So you kind of like see what's left in the tank. So right there I stand. I shift up to make sure I keep a steady cadence, but as I hit the grade, right around that light pole in the distance on the right, it starts to really bite around 5%. And I think I go down 1.
Yep.
I told Paul, I said right at the light pole. From the light pole to the pavement changes. This is where it bites. It goes up to like 6-point-something%. So you want to know your favorite climbs where they really bite. Even if they're not your favorite climbs, you're going to do a grand fondo in an area, and you can do reconnaissance. It's good to know how to climb gradient comes at you. So the gradient drops here, I shift up. So even though the gradient is dropping, I shift up. So I can basically extend the effort. And standing is harder. Like I said earlier, you use more energy because you're using more muscles. But sometimes it feels really good to stand. So you got to pay attention to how you feel. Sometimes it's best to sit. But you got to be able to do both. You can see my heart rate went up to 169 and dropped. Is that 169? Yeah, 169, 168. That's zone 4. I'm at the bottom of zone 4 for me. So it's a good effort. It's a good way to work without pushing yourself. You stand into a climb or stand into the wind. And it hits the legs hard. It burns. So you've got to build a tolerance for the lactate that you're going to produce. And you want to make sure you're smooth. If you look at my bike, it's tracking a straight line. You don't want to be all over the road. So right in the distance there's a road on the right. There's a grade. I feel it. You can see it's at 1%. It's a little more than that. So I will go ahead and stand again so I don't have to downshift too much. I didn't want to change my rhythm much. And you see my heart rate went back up. So as the terrain changes, you want to kind of decide whether you want to carry a higher cadence or use the same rhythm you were using on more challenging terrain based on your feel. You can see my heart rate has dropped almost 8 or 9 beats. The wind is picking up. This road is like a silent grade. You can see it says 1%. So it's there. You're working it. You got to pay attention to how your legs feel when you're pedaling and make sure you stay on top of the gear. Right here I see a car coming, so I move over to the right so he can pass easier. That's the benefit of the mirror. You can see I did not have to turn my head. See the varying temperatures that we dealt with in this ride, you know, from -1 all the way to 13 Celsius. Now we're ending the ride at almost 1:30 in the afternoon. It's 10 Celsius. So our area, the temperature fluctuates a lot. So you need breathable fabrics or you will have a lot of challenges. We're on Fish Creek. I look in the mirror, it's clear, I move over. So I hope you got a chance to go out this weekend. But this is part of what we did on Saturday. Keep those doctors fired.
Yeah.